What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Gmias World Podcast, and today we're going to be talking about Week 14 of the NFL 2018 season with the Jags and the Titans, and this was an unbelievable game simply because a lot of people haven't really realized what I've already known. Derrick Henry is a complete and utter monster. Now, he did have another 99-yard touchdown, and he added 4 touchdowns to actually just destroy the Jags' world. Now, this was a very, very critical win for both sides. All right, it was a win for the Jags because they got to see that Jalen Ramsey is I don't know what's going to happen with him, but I think that there's a possibility that they might trade him. There's been a lot of rumors going around, and a lot of this started with the whole interview about quarterbacks and everybody being garbage, and he not realizing that Blake Bortles, aka Blake Horribles, is the worst quarterback possibly in the league, and that kind of fueled a lot of teams that played against them, including with the Bills, with all the stuff that he had to say about, the rookie quarterback over there. So this is going to make the Jaguars franchise be able to take a solid look going forward, because that was what they fueled. That fueled that whole entire team. It was the defense, and when the defense is playing disgustingly, that's going to happen. Obviously, Blake Bortles is no longer an issue there, but I'm going back to the beginning of the season. You can't, as Jalen Ramsey did, talk about other people's backyard when your backyard is trash. You know what I'm saying, bro? Like, this dude was running off at the mouth, not realizing that his quarterback was not going to do anything to help them win games. So, in other words, what a difference a year makes when now we're looking at the Jags getting exploited 30-9 and Derrick Henry just doing whatever he wanted. Now, most of you guys are going to be talking about that stiff arm. Now, the guy that he stiff armed is actually, bro, the dude should never play football again, bro. Like, it's brutal stuff. And for those of you guys, I think that with all the rules that football is still it's a safe sport, that stiff arm will show you that it's just not. Overall, a much more exciting game than I anticipated. I was actually able to now see that I was correct. Even with all, who was it? It was the other dude that they brought in, Murray. Then they bring in Murray and they had like a dual head monster thing going on there a year back or whatever. This guy, Derrick Henry, has been waiting to be that guy. And I think at this point, going forward, he will be that guy. The dangerous thing about it is he's such a brutal runner. I don't know the toll that it's going to take on his, on his career, but he has the potential to be just unbelievable. And when you look at him on the screen, he doesn't look like he's supposed to be on the field with anyone there. He just looks so much big. Like, he's listed at 6'3", but he looks like just so much bigger than 6'3". Like, it's weird. If you look at bro, I'm looking at the screen it's no way that this guy's a human being. Like, he definitely went past one of those green landfills that something spilled in a Marvel movie when you just look at what he's doing. But again, the Titans now and the South and everything that's going on in the AFC, again, the AFC is a very, very dangerous place to be right now, playing, at any position. You know what I'm saying? Like whatever team you are, it's very, very dangerous. We're going to have to see how the playoff actually shape up. It's a lot of other things that we have to see how it ends. But the Titans are dangerous simply because they have the potential to run the ball and play good defense. Now, regardless of how good offensively a lot of these teams are, it doesn't really matter. That's not the aspect that when the playoffs come around that you're going to actually be getting. For instance, the Kansas City Chiefs, a lot of you guys are telling me yeah, bro, they're not ready. They're not going to be able to do this. They're not going to be able to do that. And you primarily base it on their defense sucks, which I totally agree. Their defense is absolutely horrific. When you're giving up, 30, 40 points to the Raiders, your defense is very, very disgusting. Not only that, they lost their running back in Kareem Hunt. A lot of things are going on. So the way that this whole situation is going to shape out is going to be, it's going to be some very, very serious things coming soon. I don't like the signing of Kelvin Benjamin that they just recently did, because Kelvin Benjamin is a joke of a wide receiver, but that's neither here nor there for the Kansas City Chiefs. We'll talk about them later. We're going to go back now to talk about the Jaguars and their future. Pretty much what's going to happen right now is they're going to have to find a veteran quarterback, similar to what the Broncos did. They're going to have to figure out what they're doing with that, sort of like a Case Keenum type situation. They can't survive with the way that they're playing right now, and it's really disgusting that they have so much talent. Telvin Smith, they have Jalen Ramsey supposed to be good. AJ Boye, they got so many people over there. Miles Jack, their D line is sick. They should not have come up this short, even with the poor play initially of Blake Bortles, but the defense just wasn't as good. I go back to when they played the New York Giants early in the season, and if Eli Manning could throw the ball like a human, OBJ would have torched. He just absolutely torched Ramsey. It was so many times, including that post route right in the middle of the end zone, that he was just all over Ramsey, and Eli Manning just couldn't make the pass. So when you start to evaluate those things, it becomes easier to understand that, you know, there's a lot of, bro, this has been a long time coming for the Jags. And that's what's big about social media and running your mouth with interviews and stuff like that. You have to back it up. You have to be able to back this stuff up, and that's what they were unable to do. That's the situation. That's all that this is about. They were unable to cash a check that this dude wrote, Jalen Ramsey. Like, everything comes back to that. Because as this game was going on, if you look at the Twitter trends, it's Jalen Ramsey. Like, it wasn't even about what Derrick Henry was doing. It was about Ramsey and his interview and all this stuff. He's running his mouth. Bro, you have to understand that your quarterback is disgusting. And that's what, like, bro, I kept saying to myself as I'm watching this game, first of all, I don't know why anybody would think that the Jaguars at this time was going to win a game. Because they don't really, their defense is not playing well, and offensively, they suck. So what are you doing right now? Like, what's actually happening? Nothing is going to really go on. So you have to be able to understand that the Jaguars season has been over since like 4 weeks ago. Like, they're just absolutely a shell of themselves. And I don't know if they're going to fire anyone. Possibly, you know, obviously it's gonna come down to something, because a lot of people thought that they were just like, you know, one piece away from going right back to the playoffs and, you know, whatever, possibly playing the Patriots again. And again, that is obviously not going to happen. So heads are going to roll. That's just the way the sport world works. Somebody has to take responsibility for this. When Derrick Henry is stiff arming a guy's soul out of his body, and in that situation you're getting blown out, people have to understand, you have to take responsibility for that. You know what I'm saying? Like, as an organization, somebody has to be fired. So I don't know which way that's going to roll. I don't know if the head coach takes the fall for this. I don't know how it works. But the Jags are going to probably be revamped. And all the rumors that we're hearing about as far as the trading of Jalen Ramsey, it's sort of like this, right? OBJ was doing wild things on his vacation, just doing whatever he wanted. And the Giants had no choice but to keep him, right? With Jalen Ramsey is different, because Jalen Ramsey is running off at the mouth, and he's in a position where he can't be as productive as OBJ, because it's a passing league now, right? And most of the things are favored for the wide receivers and everybody getting off of coverages and stuff like that. So it's a whole different world right now that's out there. So I don't know if he'll get that same leniency. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Would they actually give Jalen Ramsey up for something that was more valuable? You see what I'm saying? Like, would they make sure that they were able to get some pieces in, a quarterback possibly, with something else? Because he's still worth a decent amount of value, but he got exposed a lot this season, and the season's not even over yet. And people are actively throwing the ball at him. People are actively like, yo, look, take this real quick. Like, it's really, really disgusting the way that everything is unfolding. So this year is going to be like a year that he's going to want to forget, even with certain, you know, things that you may look at it statistically and say, yeah, he's been a decent corner. He really hasn't. If you've watched his games in its entirety, he really just hasn't been that guy. And we're going to have to wait to see what his value is worth at the end of the season, or, you know, to just try to figure out where he's going to end up. But there's a lot of places that he could end up to make somebody a powerhouse, but they're going to have to get a lot in return for him, because he still is somebody that is recognized. But obviously the way the league is going with the undersized receivers, it's going to be harder. OBJ, T.Y. Hilton, Tyreek Hill, these guys are undersized speedsters. He doesn't match up well with that. He could lock up Gronk, you know what I'm saying, play better with Julio, the bigger guys, but like, this is not a guy that's going to be, you know, staying with these little tiny guys running around and doing all that stuff. So we got to wait to see how everything unfolds. But overall, the Titans just outright spanked the team that they were supposed to spank. And it looks like their playoff hopes are still alive. We got to see going forward what can happen. But this is a dangerous team. They run the ball and they play good defense. They're going to be hard to beat. And I have a feeling that they're going to upset somebody in the playoffs, should they make it when everything unfolds, man. So we'll stay tuned to that. And I know you guys will stay tuned here at Gmias World Podcast for more updates in the NFL. I'm going to see you guys and girls next time. One love.